Very silent clap from Casey. Welcome to the Cinematics Podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm Casey.
I took my ADHD quiz before this. It took me about between 5 and 10 minutes is what the website told me it would take me. I'm not actually sure because I didn't time it, but I think it was on the lower end of that. I think I kind of flew through it. I logged in, and I had to pay $2 to get the results. So I went and actually took a personality test, and now the personality test could have told me any number of things, but it told me that I was an out-of-the-box thinker, and that I am a very busy-bodied person, and that I think a lot and I don't get a lot of rest, and it sounded kind of like ADHD.
He's a type 8 brain.
I'm a type 8 brain.
Right? Is that what it said? 8?
That's what it said.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to look that up, that's what that is.
Yeah, you can fact check me. Maybe that means I have ADHD, or maybe that means just a type 8 thinker. But anyway,
it's
so
just insane.
Reservoir Dogs, initial rating, what do you think?
I would give this movie... God, I feel like I've given all these movies really high reviews.
These are all really good movies. We just watched 3 classics.
Yeah, I think this was also... I think I'd give this one a... I want to give it a 10, but I don't think it's a 10. I think it's a 9.
This guy liked Reservoir Dogs.
I think it's a 9.5 or maybe a 9.
I like it a lot, too. I'm also going to give it a 9. I think I've given every one of the movies a 9 so far. I think I gave Godfather the 10.
Our top 3, highest
movies. These are probably the best movies we've watched. Yeah, these are probably the best
movies
we've
watched. Our next 3 movies are going to be terrible.
We need to compensate.
This.
But, so I think Reservoir Dogs is honestly one of Tarantino's best movies.
I think story-wise, I think this movie is fine. It's not, amazing or anything.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think it is 100% the acting.
Yeah.
The actual actors in the movie do such a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they're great.
That is easily the best part of this movie,
100%. Yeah. In particular, Mr. Pink. Oh my God, his character is fucking hilarious.
Which was Mr. Pink?
He was the younger of the guys, and he was.
He was the undercover cop.
No, he wasn't the undercover cop. That was the guy that got shot at the very. So
yeah. I forget I know there's Mr. White, Mr. Pink, Mr. Blonde. Right. Mr. Pink, I know you're talking about.
That's the young guy. That was
Dave Buscemi?
Buscemi, yeah.
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. Yeah, I knew his last name.
Yeah, it was Buscemi.
He does a really good job. He's
hilarious in this movie. But yeah, so, brief plot synopsis since we've done it for all the other movies. This is a movie that all takes place around one crime that you don't necessarily see happen. Mm-mm. This movie was also related to the other two. Sometimes we like to relate our movies here. Sometimes we like to watch whatever the fuck we want. Mm-hmm. But this was one of the times where we decided to relate all of these movies. So this is all organized crime themed movies. So, but this is like a organized crime movie where they're kind of set up, and all these guys don't really know anything about each other for confidentiality's sake, and they rob a bank. They steal all the jewels. And that happens off screen, which is really cool. And all of the movie that happens after this crime takes place, right at the beginning that you don't see, is them just having the fallout of it because it kind of went awry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what you watch unfold throughout the movie. And then the pivotal point in the movie, spoiler alert, which we've had to do so. The spoiler alert thing is so funny because these movies are old.
Yeah.
All the movies we've done are old.
All 3 of these movies, I think, are 90s and back. I don't know when Reservoir Dogs. I think it came out in the 90s.
I think 90s.
It looks like a 90s film.
We need to, so anyway, this is another spoiler review.
All of our episodes are, if you haven't figured that out, then you probably need a brain check or some shit.
Yeah. Well, the last time that we brought it up was the season finale, and that one was just funny because it was the season finale.
If you haven't figured that out.
Yeah. But, this is people could pick up mid-season if they wanted to.
That's true, I guess.
But watching
if you've only watched this episode, spoiler review, okay? If you've watched all of our other episodes, you know that already.
The big plot-altering moment, the big plot twist, which I think really changes the scope of the whole movie, is whenever the Mr. Orange was revealed to indeed be the undercover cop.
Now, did you? Because I was kind of trying to figure it out, and I didn't expect him to reveal it so soon. Did you expect him to be the bad guy?
The
undercover?
No.
I really thought it was going to be, I think it was Mr. White. The guy, I think it was the first guy you see walk in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was going to be him because he was so against there being a spy and then all of that. I was 100%. But then it was revealed it was the guy that was shot. I 100% did not expect him to be the spy.
Yeah. You know what I thought was really interesting about this movie? And I don't know if I'm grasping at straws here, but let's think about this.
Okay.
a lot of this movie is shared between Mr. Orange, Mr. White, and Mr. Pink because they're the first people that get there, and it's one of the longer, more drawn-out conversational sections of the movie. And most of it, since Mr. Orange is bleeding out for the entirety of the fucking film, is a conversation between Mr. White and Mr. Pink.
Yes.
And Mr. White is an older guy. Mr. Pink is a younger guy. The younger guy is like a little bit more spry. The older guy has like all this wisdom, and he's kind of like talking down to him in some senses because he just has so many years on him. It really was like, man, were these names and character dynamics kind of an inspiration for Breaking Bad? Jesse Pinkman, Walter White. Walter White, older guy, talking down to Jesse Pinkman, running the operation. Jesse Pinkman, he's kind of a know-it-all and a wise guy, even though he's much younger than him. And
Did you get this theory off of somewhere, or did you just come up with
No, I was just watching the movie, and I was like, dude, it's kind of interesting.
It is kind of interesting. I've never watched Breaking Bad, so
the character dynamic seems a little bit similar, though.
It's kind of interesting.
Though, I mean, you get to see like a scenario where they actually get like close with each other, which they're not in this movie, obviously.
No, they all die.
Yeah.
I think every character in this movie dies.
Yeah. It's a really cool, very like Tarantino movies I've always said are like really conversational movies. This is a very conversational movie. People are just always talking to each other.
Interestingly enough, Tarantino's in the film at the very beginning.
Yeah, he also
and then he dies.
Yeah, Tarantino does like to write himself into his movies. This movie, didn't he just like say he said the N-word hard R in this movie, didn't he?
They said in every single one of the films we watched, they said the N-word.
I thought that was really weird. What are the odds of that?
Yeah.
So not only were these movies connected by the fact that they're about organized crime, they also dropped the N-word.
Hard R in all of them.
Every single one of them, which was so weird. It was totally unplanned.
It was.
Yeah.
I every single one of those movies, I was like, damn, what the fuck?
I was like, whoa. Yeah, it's always really weird, but whatever.
These are old movies, I guess.
They are old movies, It's but Tarantino, he likes to write himself into roles where he could,
He doesn't he normally write himself into a role, but he normally dies in the film, and he doesn't stay in it very long.
Yeah,
he'll be like in the film, and then he'll die pretty quick.
He wasn't in this movie very much.
No, he was in it for like the setup, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he got clapped at the scene, didn't he?
He didn't. I don't even think we see him.
We never see him
killed.
Again.
Yeah, he literally goes to the bank and he dies at the bank, and we never see the bank. So
yeah. But it is really cool the way that they withhold the information of what actually happened at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really know who stayed in the movie and then that it opens the door for pretty much anybody to walk in next into that building and then change the entire dynamic of what's going on. And that was really cool.
And like you said, this whole movie is just talking.
Yeah.
But it's 90 minutes of just talking, but it still feels really like not rushed. It doesn't feel rushed. It also doesn't feel
like
too
it drags.
Long. It doesn't feel like it drags. It feels like this, but it also feels like it's really chaotic and really like tense at the whole time. Like this is a really, really, really good shot. Good like acted, good dialogue, everything like that.
Very well like planned and scripted. Like it's really cool. Like you get to see like the before, the thing, and then everything after, and then every character that walks in, it seems like they would give like a character dump of like what had happened leading up to that if they were going to be an influential character in the movie. So like you got like some little bits of lore about Mr. Orange, Mr. White, and Mr. Pink, which I think were pretty much the driving characters.
And then there's also Mr. Blonde who shows up with the cop, literally tries to torture the cop and then
tries to burn him alive.
Yeah, and then the guy who was shot.
Mr. Blonde. You get a big backstory for him too. So I thought that was really cool. Is developments of the characters where it was like every time that they were introduced and would walk in that door, you'd get a flashback of like how what was going on and why they are
how they're on the team and everything like that. And then you had Happy Eddie or whatever his name was, the son of the big boss.
I've always thought of him as just being Mr. Blue because he was wearing blue, all blue.
I'm not just call him Mr. Blue.
I've always called him that whenever I talk about the movie with friends because I actually watched it with like Jesse and Riley. We were always calling him Mr. Blue, and I thought that was almost like I almost felt like that could have been a directorial choice to make him wear all blue because there was no Mr. Blue.
Yeah.
So it just adds another like person that you can remember just by
by name. Color.
Just by color. Yeah, I think that they did that on purpose, like give you all the character colored names because it would just basically save more development time and you can just like characterize them by color.
Makes sure you don't have to give them actual names, and there's a little bit less. There's less character development, but you feel like you know these characters pretty well.
Yeah.
Like they do a really good job. Yeah, they do a really, really good job with characters. Like just learning from their dialogue and everything like that. Like it's really cool.
Tarantino's like one of the best. Like I know you said that there's not very much story to the movie, and that is true.
It's a basic story, but that's
okay. It's a very basic story that takes place in a very short amount of time. I mean, the movie takes place over several hours in a garage.
I don't think there's any time jumps.
No,
I think
it's all just what happens right after the
and
crime
so
scene.
technically speaking, it all takes place in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be less
it
because
is
there's
real
also
time.
flashbacks.
Yeah, it's really like an hour maybe.
Yeah,
of,
I would bet
actual
you it's like an
things
hour.
happening. Yeah,
Which is actually pretty cool. I really like
really
that.
sick. Yeah, it's like a snapshot in time, and then it just gives you little necessary tidbits of information from everybody else's lives from wherever it may be. Tarantino's a really good storyteller like that. He's very methodical with the. I keep saying that.
It's true.
He's very well thought out about the way that he decides to reveal information and when he decides to do it and how he decides to do it. He's very it's very precise.
Yeah. I also really liked the just first scene you see everyone in, like setting up the dynamic between all the characters. I
really
loved
well done.
that scene. I think that was
The
actually
tipping conversation?
my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Yeah, that's another very Tarantino thing is to let you see the very clear and colorful character archetypes in the very first scene that really feels like a prologue to the entire movie, and it feels totally unrelated, and it definitely is, but it just sets up the characters just enough that when they're reintroduced, you're like, oh, that was that one guy from the diner. That was
Okay, I kind of know what this guy's like, kind of thing. Yeah. I loved that scene. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
The back and forth between each person,
Yeah.
they were all like they were vibing off each other so fucking well. Like it was amazing.
That's a really awesome opening scene. This is one of the better Tarantino movies to me. I like Tarantino a lot.
Tarantino's I've seen, I'm sure I've seen other movies, but I think his other really, really good one that I've seen is Inglourious Bastards.
Oh my gosh,
which
yes.
I think I watched with you.
Yeah.
That one was really, really
Because I wouldn't
really
stop raving about it. That movie's really awesome.
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards was awesome. So is Django. I love Django.
Oh, I watched Django too. Django's a really good
I
film.
think I made you watch that one too.
Yeah, we watched that one together as well, yeah.
Yep. And then, he made Pulp Fiction.
Fuck, I need to watch Pulp Fiction. That's a
movie.
really good film from my understanding, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's a good one. He also made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He thinks that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his best work.
Damn, I need to watch that one too.
It's
Quentin Tarantino's
cool
a really
story.
good director.
Yeah, so, Tarantino, he's an interesting guy for a lot of reasons. Everybody knows he likes feet and all that shit. But
I did not know that, but continue. Fuck. Okay.
he likes feet. He loves feet. There's Uma Thurman was in Kill Bill. She was, the killer of Bill.
Okay.
She played the super.
Is that a Tarantino film?
Yeah.
I didn't know Kill Bill was. Okay.
Yeah. Uma Thurman, there's a lot of scenes where her feet are out, and it's just like zoomed in like on her feet because he just likes feet. Like it's true. He actually has like a legitimate foot.
I
fetish.
believe you, but it's so weird to put that in your movies.
Yeah. I don't know if it's subconscious for him or if he's just playing the bit at this point, but the feet are out.
I bet you it's not a bit.
I think it might be a subconscious thing, and he's just like, he's a very expressive director, is what I'm trying to say. He's not hiding the fact that he has a very obvious foot fetish.
Clearly.
He's displaying it to the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
Kind of like fucking Dark Souls.
Yeah.
All their feet.
Yeah. What's interesting about Tarantino is that his approach to filmmaking was that, he could have made films overseas, which seems like it could have been Tarantino's vibe. But he said that overseas, you have movies that are very like film, like cinematography based and very colorful and almost painting-esque. And then in America, the film, the meta.
Mm-hmm. The
meta of filmmaking was storytelling in America.
Mm-hmm. It's the dialogue.
Yeah, and that's what he strived off of, so that's why he's an American film producer. And he could have, decided to take his talent somewhere else, but he's all about telling the story. So he's like one of the best like old-fashioned storytellers.
He's absolutely the best at dialogue out of any director. 100%.
I know there's no film that's scripted like a Tarantino film.
It always feels so natural. None of it ever feels like he's just doing expository, like just explaining things and stuff like that. Like it always feels very natural the way he does it. It always feels like they're genuinely just talking to each other, but it feels like you're learning so much information through the entire film. Like really, really good. Fuck, Quentin Tarantino is a really good director.
Another thing about him that's interesting is that he likes, like a lot of directors do, he likes to reuse actors that he's already familiar with. And this makes a lot of sense, but I don't think that Reservoir Dogs, I don't think he reuses any actors from that movie.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Tim Roth.
What was Tim Roth in?
Tim Roth he was in Reservoir Dogs. He was the trader.
Right.
And then he was in Pulp Fiction as well. He's the couple that's robbing the diner.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right.
He's also in the Hateful Eight.
I never watched Hateful Eight actually.
Hateful Eight is a great one.
Yeah.
I never watched that one either. Damn, there's so many Tarantino films. I didn't
There's
know
a
he had
lot
so
of
many
them.
movies.
He actually has made a lot of fucking movies.
Damn, we need to do a Tarantino episode.
Yeah.
Just 3 Tarantino films.
Yeah.
I'd
I'm
be down for that.
I like Tarantino a lot.
Tarantino's a good fucking director. Everything I've seen him in, at least.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I think one of my favorite sequences from this movie was the portion where you see a little bit of the gunfight that happened at the bank.
Oh yeah,
And the car escape scene with the cop and everything. That was a pretty
yeah. And you're trying to
scene.
one thing that's also kind of fun is like you're trying to figure out how the undercover cop got shot. Like, did another police officer shoot him? Like, and in the car he's like, man, I didn't expect that bitch to shoot me and all this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, that
totally
must have been
unrelated.
a cop. And then it's like, oh no, it was actually just them trying to steal a car, and he just got shot in the fucking stomach.
Yeah. Well, not totally unrelated. Yeah, I mean, it's self-defense, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, of all people, like, man, you're an undercover cop.
It's such a random thing to happen that like never could have been expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, I know. You really do feel bad for him. But
he does an amazing job acting, by the way.
Yeah.
I love the way he, like, whenever he's in the car, how he, like, looks. I don't know, to me, at least, I've never been shot, so maybe he's doing a terrible job. To me, that seemed like he was dying and, like, he was genuinely in so much pain and everything like that. Like, he does a fantastic job. Or whenever he's laying on the ground, like, slowly losing blood, slowly losing his consciousness.
Can you imagine being in that situation where when you've been, like, mortally wounded in some way and you realize this is going to be it for me, like, I'm going to die from this? Can you imagine the emotions that you'd be going through in that scenario? I wonder if you'd be actually kind of, in a way, totally numb to anything like that because of the adrenaline. You'd just be, like, trying to stay alive.
Well, but at that point, the adrenaline's kind of worn off, right?
Yeah, I guess
that's why
you realized it in the first place.
Yeah, he was in the car, he saw the adrenaline, then he got there, and he just kind of, like, laid back and just couldn't do anything, really.
He was just dying for the whole movie.
Yeah, he literally was dying the whole movie.
Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah.
Real rough. Dude, it was so tense when Mr. Blonde was about to blow that cop up, dude.
I thought that they were going to actually... I did not... Because that was how they revealed he was the undercover cop.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good way to reveal it.
Yeah. Also, when dude, the fact that he shot at Mr. Blonde while he had just poured all that gasoline on the floor, I was like, no! Could you imagine the whole place just blew the fuck up?
Holy shit!
I don't know why. The first time I watched that movie, I was like, uh-oh. Yeah.
It's a good film.
Dang, we're real short.
Yeah,
we gotta keep
this
talking.
is a short film. There's not as much to talk about in this film.
I suppose that's true.
What do you think of the cinematography?
Cinematography, I think it's a very plain shot movie, to be completely honest with you. Like, cinematography wise, I don't think it's a gorgeous movie. Mm-hmm. But I think, I mean, it's very intentionally like it's a less is more kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of shots where it's just like a long running take.
Yeah.
Tarantino thing.
I like the long running take. That's why I think my favorite movie of all time is 1917.
Yeah, because it's all one take.
Long shot.
Or it looks like it's all.
It looks like it, of course. It's not actually. I think the longest shot they had in that film was 8 minutes. It was long. Completely one shot.
Yeah.
But I love that film. Purely the cinematography is my favorite thing ever. It's so fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Love that type of thing. So they did have a lot of long shots, which I really liked. I thought that was really fucking cool.
Yeah, because I mean, like it seems like he's really good at like inviting actors to be in like an environment where they can just kind of interact. Mm-hmm. And it seems like, I don't know if this is true, but like when I watched it on Prime Video with subtitles, and like the subtitles were wrong a lot of the time.
Oh really? I didn't experience that. I watched it on the same thing.
They're like not like wrong. They would be saying things like slightly different.
Mm-hmm. So normally I think they get subtitles off of the script.
Yeah.
And so sometimes whenever they, since it's direct from the script, if they change any words, sometimes it'll be slightly different. That's kind of like why if you ever watch anime, the subtitles will be wrong compared to the dub. Yeah. Because the dub is, or the sub? Fuck. The English version is going to be different because they're saying the words differently.
Right.
They're like kind of improvising a little bit.
Yeah, and that's my point exactly, is that it seems like Tarantino kind of
there's a lot
encourages people to improv a little bit.
I'd agree with that. That's probably why it feels so fluid.
That's why all of his films conversationally feel so, natural and balanced. Like you think about like Django and other. This is just an example that I can attest to him like loving the improv. Like there's a scene where Leonardo DiCaprio like has a total freak out, and this is a real famous scene, and he ends up like hitting the table with a shot glass in his hands, and he breaks.
It breaks.
Or it was a
wine glass.
It was a wine glass or something, and it breaks, and totally slashed open his hand, had to get like stitches, but he kept acting through it.
Yep.
It was like actually fucking pouring blood. I think that Tarantino is a big fan of the improvisational acting that he can get out of like reusing the same actors.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, he gets one good actor. And he's like, "Holy shit, you're fucking fantastic."
I'm gonna bring the best out of this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you think about it, Jamie Foxx, who he played Django in Django, he, in my opinion, I haven't seen any other movies really where Jamie Foxx is like a really
fantastic.
great actor.
I agree with that.
It's like he has a way of getting the best out of these actors. That's something that's really admirable about Tarantino.
Yeah, it's just that he's able to bring out the dialogue off of each character and bring out like the best of them. 100%. Yeah, like just the dialogue in these movies are so fluid and so natural in every single way. Like it feels like they're just talking to a buddy of theirs. Like none of it feels scripted at all or anything like that, which you get in a lot of movies. It's really nice.
What did you think of the ending with the shootout? I mean,
where every single person died.
You think everybody in that room died? You don't think anybody made it out?
I thought all of them died.
They don't really show.
They all got shot.
Yeah, well, Orange is dead.
Yeah.
He dead.
I think I'm going to believe all of them died. I think that's a good ending to that film.
I mean, yeah, I think it's fair to say that like you can't just like assume that somebody lived when everybody was getting shot like that.
Yeah, like every single person there got shot, like in the chest or the stomach or something like that. Like I doubt that anyone survived.
In a big, trio standoff kind of style. It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
You gotta feel bad for was it Mr. White, I think? The older guy.
Yeah.
That he was defending the undercover guy the
entire
time.
I know. And that's what flips about the movie so much. Whenever it's not it's your perspective of the entire situation between Mr. Orange and Mr. White that gets flipped whenever he reveals halfway through the movie. It was also genius to reveal it when they did that he's the undercover cop.
I agree with that.
Because then you get to explore the movie through two different lights throughout the movie. The beginning, it's like a kind of a whodunit thing. Then once it flips, it becomes like, how is this going to influence the characters? And then also like all the character dynamics just kind of shift a little bit.
And you gotta feel fucking terrible for him.
Yeah.
Because he's defending him to his literally shot. Everyone is dead because of him. And then he comes out and he's like, hey, I was the undercover guy. And it's like, holy shit. Doesn't he kill himself at the end?
The undercover cop?
No, not the undercover guy. The older guy. I'm forgetting his name. Was it Mr. White? I think it was Mr. White. Did he kill himself? Or did he get shot by a cop?
I think he got
He might have got shot by a cop. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
He
either.
dies.
It's been a while. It's been like a month.
It has. This guy fucking...
And actually, before I came here, I did watch The Godfather explained in 10 minutes and Goodfellas explained in 10 minutes. But not Reservoir Dogs. I didn't have time. I thought I would remember everything, but I don't remember if he killed himself.
I'm pretty... I
think he might be right.
I think he kills himself. I know he dies. I just can't remember.
I think you're right.
I think he kills himself.
I think he does.
I think he kills Mr. Orange. The guy on the ground.
Yeah.
Is that Mr. Orange?
Put him out of his misery.
Yeah. He kills him and then... Well, it's probably because he's upset because he just figured out he was the cop. And then Mr. White kills himself.
And that's another really interesting thing about Tarantino is his... I wouldn't call it a habit, but it's definitely a conscious decision of like kind of rewriting history with his movies. And I don't know if Reservoir Dogs is a real story. I don't think it is.
No.
Well, I mean, a lot of these are based on like real things, but he'll like change the way it ends. Like Inglourious Bastards is a World War II story, but they just changed it so that this really badass crew killed Hitler. And that's not what happened in real life.
Is the Inglourious Bastards an actual group in the World War II?
No, but it's based on what happened in World War II.
Some of what happened. Okay, so you're saying it's like a historical fiction.
Yeah,
where
it's
like
historical fiction.
It's like the background is real, but then the actual thing that's happening is not.
Yeah, he'll rewrite how it kind of ends.
Kind of like Django Unchained, where like slavery happened, but obviously this didn't necessarily
There was no superhero slave.
Yeah.
Maybe there was. Well, I mean, there was Harriet Tubman. That's not. She wasn't a slave. There was. There was
Harriet Tubman.
That was a little. I'm not a history guy.
No. There was that one person that did the railroad. Who was that? Is that Harriet Tubman?
The Underground Railroad?
Yeah. Who was that?
That was, the person who made the Underground Railroad.
Do you know who that is, Brock?
Who was sitting in the back of the bus?
No.
Rosa Parks.
That's Rosa Parks.
So I was right.
No,
Harriet Tubman did do the Underground
Did Harriet Tubman do Underground Railroad?
Yeah, she did.
I don't remember this person's name. I recognize it. I know she's famous, but I don't remember. It might have been Underground Railroad.
It was the Underground Railroad.
Hold on, he's looking it up.
So all of this to say, Django is kind of equated to.
He is Harriet Tubman.
That was That was
It is. Okay, Connor was right.
That was the rewrite that Tarantino chose with Django, was just to change the gender of the characters
And the
all
name.
this.
And the
name.
story.
Well, he would have to change the name because he couldn't. Whatever.
Copyright. Copyright reasons.
So Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. Anyway, basically moral of the story is Reservoir Dogs is a short movie. There's a lot to talk about in it, but we've watched it far too long ago.
Yeah.
And
Our bad guys.
But we should do more Tarantino movies. I've seen a lot of them already. I haven't seen Hateful Eight. I don't know why I've put off on that one for so long.
I haven't seen a lot of his, apparently. There's a lot of films. He has a lot of films, though.
Reservoir Dogs, one of my favorite scenes is Mr. Pink at the diner when he's talking about
Tipping?
tips.
That's my favorite scene. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally
did
the
talk a little
best
bit about that.
scene in the film. 100%. But yeah, I think that'll be it. Honestly, I don't really have much else to say. A little bit of shorter episode, but it happens.
Yeah. We can save you 5 minutes of time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Final review score.
9.
9?
9, yeah.
I agree. 9. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Cool. That's been Cinematics.
Yeah, I've been Connor.
I've been Casey.
Watch the news.
Thank you. You still messed it up though.
Go watch the news.
Go watch the news, Connor.
Close enough.
God damn.